Parliament today, our owlish opinion is all about the phenomenon of fashion as a social phenomena. Style is personal, but for older women, there's a misconception that we want to look young. Society has put us under pressure to tone down. We should start wearing daintier jewelry, perhaps more flowers. Maybe learn to embrace, softer colors like pastels. And they talk about, with a bit of roundness, we need to be comfortable in some kind of styles. Fashion is not only for the young. Industries should show women of all ages, all ethnicities, and all cultures. So, who are the most fashionable people you know?
Apart from you.
Thank you for that.
I'm a classic, I'm a diamond, so I would go back to Coco Chanel, Audrey Hepburn. That's kind of my inspiration, I think. And that's probably what it's going to stay like. That's the, elegant, classy kind of look.
Well, I think I'm more of the risque girls like Cher, Kim K, Zendaya.
You definitely are.
I think they all are just so they so expressive in what they want to wear, and I love how I just adore that what they wear shows how passionate they are about their style.
And very beautiful to watch, because I look at you and I always am inspired. I always look at you and think, wow, Katie, you put so much effort into expressing yourself. Maybe not effort, maybe it just comes naturally. But it reminds me of the time we went to the Qatar National Day, remember? And you dressed me up in all of that.
Abaya, yes, with the headgear.
And listen, I loved it, but I felt like I was some character like out of an Aladdin movie or something like that. It was so awesome. But I love that about you and the expression that you display. But or even jewelry. And you remember, I don't know, there's been times where, because you also like to dress up others. You like to dress me up like I'm a doll.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I think you need to have a little bit more bronzer. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas I will always come with very kind of classy, classic and, that kind of thing. So I love the expression. But fashion is expression.
It is. It is. And so does my T-shirt says about,
art.
Make art.
There we go.
I think it is also somebody that said to me, you dress up like a piece of art. And I felt, what does that mean? And I realized that I do.
But you are.
Because I do think. I was always I was a fashionable kid. I studied fashion design. It was something that I just loved. My mom would say to me that when I was younger, and you know how they used to dress all of us the same. When
we were four girls.
Yes, all of us the same. And I would say, well, if everybody's in pink, I want purple. So it really, and I think it's really a natural thing. You gravitate as towards what you want to look like, what you want to feel like, and as the years went by, I just became a little bit more expressive. And I enjoy doing that. So I do follow a lot of people within the fashion industry. And I see that a lot of people that I follow are not conformists, and I enjoy that. So, for me, I love Vivienne Westwood, and I love her risqueness in the way I love Alexandra McQueen. And, I love all of that. Not saying that because they're expensive, but I love the way they look. So I also, when I do make my clothes, I look at them for inspiration. So I know that you said I'm fashionable, so you are classic, like an old vintage car. Will you date someone that has terrible fashion sense? For me,
Wait, don't answer your own question. I'm thinking, terrible fashion sense. Let's first say, what is terrible fashion sense though?
I mean, a guy that just makes no effort.
Okay, there's a difference between fashion sense and no effort. So somebody could still look well put together without being completely fashionable or on trend. So would I date somebody that puts no effort into their self-appearance?
Lynn, I know you.
Oh,
You are
come
not going to
on.
wear. You are not gonna date a guy that wears a plaid shirt.
No.
So
No.
that's fashion sense. So what I'm saying is that he made an effort and is wearing a plaid shirt and some khaki things at the bottom. You are not going to date him.
I am, Katie, there are people that I would date that you wouldn't date.
No, of course.
Based on looks
It's
alone.
a deal breaker for me.
Katie, wait. Stop for a minute. I will date a guy that looks well put together, that's clean, that comes with the internal stuff. Whereas you might let that guy pass and miss out on a lot because he wasn't fashionable enough. Don't lie.
I know. For me, it is a deal breaker, unfortunately. His jeans
What's a deal breaker?
His jeans needs to fit well. It needs to kind of be molded. It needs, people kind of like, wear jeans that are hanging down and there's no buttocks.
I
So-
used to date a guy who used checkers. I mean, he used to wear those
Plaid.
checkers. No, like checker, like proper.
No. Even if he wears a white tee, I think he must have a nice fitted. He must smell. I know it makes me sound a bit shallow and superficial again.
No, you're not. You're not shallow and superficial. I'm just saying.
But I'm
to
a
you,
stickler for a guy that puts an effort.
I think you would not do well with a guy. Look, it's also about walking out into the public and people can actually say, oh, that's a couple. You need a certain look of a man to go with all of you. But so do I.
Yes.
I'm not going to date somebody that makes me feel like, oh, my word.
Because,
How do I pull you together?
Lynn, dressing well is a sense of good manners.
You and I are always going to disagree on some things. Dressing well versus stylish is two different things.
Okay, so it leads me to the next conversation I want to have, is that how
Let's
important
drop that for now.
how important is style today compared to the past? Because you talk about what you were saying about Audrey Hepburn and so of course fashion now is different from back in the days.
And you would know better about these things, Katie. You are a fashionista. I wake up in the morning and I put on things that make me feel good. There are certain color schemes in my closet. I take it out. It goes together. It's like the naturals and all of that. I think fashion and style, again, these days is more about the individual. I think it's a choice. It's an individual thing. But there are people that are trendy and they stick to fashion trends, seasonal fashion trends. I don't necessarily think you're that person. You're not a slave to fashion.
No, I'm not. I definitely am. I get up. I get up and think about what I want to feel like. If I'm going to an event, I want to know what I look like. So it is like a piece of art. I do make a lot of effort.
But it's your own style.
It is my own style, and but I also want to remain elegant. I wouldn't look like mutton dressed as lamb. I would want to be elegant.
And you always do.
Yeah. A little brag here. I did win in 2010 Sunday Times one of the top 10 most fashionable women in South
I never
Africa.
knew that about
So
you.
yeah.
There we go. You see.
So I also think that that it has changed, but these days they call it the old money look. I don't know if you've seen it on
with you.
trend. They call it the old money look, where the classic look
Yeah.
is the old money look. So there are no name brands, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The colors are just the right colors. I think they stick to 3 or 4 colors.
I think it's 4 max.
So yes, and I think that classic is. It's an eternal, classic style is like
Timeless.
eternal. It's literally timeless, yes. So my fashion sense, like you said, is expressive because it reflects who I am. I think the way I dress also requires a lot of confidence.
Oh yeah.
I think people often tend to look at me, and I don't know if they're looking at, did she really wear that? Kind of thing.
Yeah. But you also know how to put it together. I look at you and I learn from you because you would change a look completely by just layering. You would wear a tight fitting top over a shirt and then it just kind of creates a completely different look where I would just go with the shirt. My
Yeah.
pants and my shirt and my earrings and whatever. But you'll add some layers over there, and then there's maybe this boob tube over, and then there's a jacket over, and then you walk in there, and it's just, what is the thing with you? And I'm talking about you because I can relate, because I can see that. You would tell me we're wearing jeans, and then I would arrive and you would be wearing jeans, but you would not be wearing jeans, if you know what I mean. And I would be wearing jeans, but you would be wearing jeans, and it's whole creation. It's art.
Yeah. And it is about my mood for the day, and I think that's the most important thing. I am I think I'm a victim of fashion. I am guilty of being a victim of fashion. I don't apologize for it.
Absolutely
I
not.
don't. If I have a bad day, you will see that I'm not interested. But I think if you like, when I think about fashion, for me, it's really about how my mood is reflected again. And I think with you, like you said, is when I tell you, okay, we're wearing jeans, you will come with your classic white shirt, your
With
jeans,
my jeans, with
and
my
high
boots,
heels.
or my high heels.
And I'm like, but why are you wearing high heels when I would think that we could be wearing
because
sneakers?
that's how you wear jeans.
I know. But it takes us back to when we went to an awards function a while back. And of course, after COVID, it was like you can't wear heels much longer. In saying that, as much as you like your heels, and I still am comfortable with my trainers or my flats, was in the middle of the awards function, I was like, I can't do this. My legs are cramping. And you're like, okay, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And in the middle of that awards, we get up, we walk right out, we take our shoes, sit out there, and then everybody just comes and sits there, and there was no judgment.
There's
It
no
was
judgment.
like
And our shoes are on the floor.
and I love that about us, because now I could carry my high heels in a big bag, wear my flats and swap it, because
But we're comfortable in our own skin.
Exactly.
And I think, to be honest, that is part of how your fashion and style comes across. It's mostly about your confidence, as you said. If you don't have confidence, it doesn't matter what you wear, it's never going to look amazing. If I want to have the classic look and I walk in with classic confidence, that's going to look stunning.
exactly.
But if I wear what you're wearing and now I'm not feeling out of my depth, it's going to immediately not look okay, and it will look stunning on you, but it will just look so bad on me because I'm not carrying it with the same confidence that you carrying that same look.
But we only wear about 20% of our clothes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Winter, we're wearing our blacks
I need to do a.
and our jeans, and we need to declutter. I feel, and a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of family, all they do is, when are you decluttering? Because I love to declutter. I feel freer. I also feel that other people will enjoy something that I might not want to wear. Not that I don't want to wear it again. I kind of also am bored with it. So it's that kind of churning of my
Absolutely.
wardrobe that I love doing. So I'm not a hoarder.
No, you're not.
So, and again, people also, fashion is significant to a lot of people. And the one thing I enjoy is that people comment on what I wear. And that is why we used to buy those Vogue magazines, and what were those other magazines? Well, the Glamour, the Vogue,
Glamours,
back
all
in
of
the
those.
days. We used to literally, open it purely for
To see the fashion
the
and the styles,
editorial of the fashion. And I also look at inspiration now. So I don't also get up and just say, this is what I want to wear. I look at inspiration.
Now, let me tell you where you would look at those things. I would go on Instagram, and I'm following all of these capsule wardrobe kind of, the winter capsule with all these kind of colors, the nudes and the 4 items you put together and the different looks you can create and all of that kind of stuff. So it's very classic and it's very classy, but it's very specific. There's this, and then you would find here and there the color, the little bit of color. But now, where I am now, and especially now in this period where I find myself now, I find that I really find a lot of therapy in color. So there's this thing about color therapy. So I'm gravitating more towards introducing the brights in like bright yellows. And remember the orange outfit I was wearing to the event? the bright yellows, the oranges, the reds. I love red, but you and I both love red. So I'm trying to introduce a way more color or more variety of color into my looks and into my wardrobe. And that again is, it's changing my style a little bit, my classic style that I'm known for, maybe. Not that I've always just stuck to that, but I do find now that I'm experimenting more with color.
Is it because as we get older, we feel, okay, we've been here for half a century, right? Do you think we feel, because I feel that, is that we're bored with our style. We're bored with our look. And we want to be, I don't know, we want to prove to ourselves, not to anybody else, to prove to ourselves that we kind of still have it. And I think that's what the change is about.
Things, so I would, for that description, I would find that when I go to maybe glitzy, glamorous kind of events, I would probably step out in a beautiful, not bright red, but a red or, a green or something that's like very royal kind of colors. But right now, it is about actually the mood that the color provides for me. So I find, can you remember that image that Xavier took of me, the yellow, with the yellow dress? I have printed those things in big, all of them, and they're in my house all around the walls like that. Pictures of myself, how vain. But I would walk downstairs in the morning, and when I see them, the yellow is it's a happy color. So it makes me feel happy. And then, but then I feel like things like green, for instance, is the most healing color. So I'm starting to wear a lot of greens and bringing that into. So it's apart from the boredom, which is another part of it. I feel that it actually changes my mood.
Yeah, it does.
The color.
And I think globally, it's, if you look at the phenomena on older, mature women, whether it's on the red carpet or whether they go to school, if you look at it, it's also become more relaxed. People are so comfortable with exactly what they wear. And I think that's what's so important, is we don't have to put on a face. I mean, the other day I was invited to a dinner, but I couldn't make the dinner. And then, my friend said to me, please, can you just pop by? And I was like, well, I've just come from the soccer, which means I had a tracksuit. And I walked in, and of course, all the girls were having dinner. It was, fur jackets and all of that. But I was so comfortable in my tracksuit, stepping in, saying hello, can't stay long, walk. And I think that is where we're going as older women. We're becoming so comfortable in our own skin with what we choose to wear, that is actually, other people are looking at us and say, good on her, and not looking at us and saying, what was she thinking?
Exactly. I was invited to on that same point, apart from just being more mature and interpreting, style for myself and how I want to see it, I also feel there's a bit of a change. I was invited to an event the other day, and it was black tie, but the invitation said your interpretation of black tie, which I think is so cool, because you don't have to now go with what is said to be black tie. And when people just put that in your interpretation, I mean, people came there looking so stunning, but everybody looked so different. And it was so kind of empowering, I think, for women to, because, men, even for them, it wasn't just a black tie situation. It was really people being creative and expressing what they interpreted black tie to be. So that, I think that could, if that is something that is happening more often, that could be nice.
But do you not also think that fashion around the world is catering more for the younger? I literally see, for the mature people, you got to go to a boutique.
Yeah.
And then the boutique is like 200,000%, more expensive.
I've never thought about that way. But now that you're saying it, the only times I can now really find, unless it's the normal, that everyday kind of thing.
That doesn't have shape, though.
Yeah, but exactly. But if I'm really looking for something really nice, I can only find it at a boutique.
Exactly.
Or I have to have it made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is that the fashion industry is prejudiced against mature women that want to be...
I agree with that.
I think so.
I agree with that. Just from my own experience, not being able to find always because when I was younger, it was easier. to find, I could walk in anywhere and still find something decent to wear. Now it really is about either have a design made or go to a boutique and find it there.
Yeah.
If you go to like the country roads or
Yeah.
the, what is that other thing called?
Witchery.
Of all of that, you can find those, right? But as you say, it's not always the most flattering clothes.
No, they don't have shape in there.
They don't have
But then
shape.
if you go to a Zara, there, and I would be a large, but that large feels like a small.
Yeah.
But don't these people know that the mature women have purchasing power?
But this is
That we are the ones
That's where the
that
money
are
is.
exactly, that we are not buying on credit, that we are able to go in there, look at something that we like, and walk right out of there. We're not bartering in our minds to
trying to
say,
remember.
could we afford this or we couldn't. Not. So I think that the fashion industry or they are missing out on
On a lot of
on our
money.
dollars.
Yeah, on our dollars.
Yes.
I love it.
I think so.
No, absolutely so. And it's just that, there's a huge gap. There's a huge gap in catering for not all more mature women have fuller figures, but I, for one, as I said before in an earlier podcast, maybe people don't cater for my boobs.
Well, they don't cater for your boobs. They might not cater for my feet. I also feel that buying brands like, we were so obsessed with Louboutins at one time. And I think they were made for European women,
Because
not
of the
brown and black
sizes.
people.
Yeah.
Because those
tiny feet.
they are very tiny. So we have to take 3 sizes. But again, it's because we are such slaves to fashion sometimes.
And now you force
is that we want to, try to think. That's one thing I've also learned about is that when you're wearing shoes which I didn't understand, and I remember I was shopping once and I was buying my very first pair of Louboutins, and I was so excited that I could afford this pair, and of course took 2 sizes bigger for it to fit me, and then there was this. There was, of course, it doesn't fit. And I'm like, but that doesn't look
your
right.
toes.
She's like, no, that's called toe cleavage. You will only know a real Louboutin
if there's
toe cleavage.
Oh,
and I'm
no.
like, what are these Europeans thinking? I don't have pretty toe cleavage there on my toe.
down your
But I
toes.
mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And again, is that I want to know what our obsession has been, or why our obsession has been for high heels. Why do we feel sexier?
I know. I can answer
I
that.
don't know. Why do we feel sexier in high heels?
No, it's not why do we. We just do. It's a fact, though.
Because even when we want to throw in our lingerie, we want to have.
No,
Is it because
if
it's always
you-
in the movies and everything's so sexy in the
No,
movie?
I don't know. But if I look at myself, if I wear flat shoes with the same, if I stand in front of the mirror and I have my outfit and I put on flat shoes and then I swap them to heels, it is an immediate lift. Everything lifts. It's not just, you literally stand up taller, your chin is up higher.
But my friend, our knees are not happy.
No. Katie, speak for yourself.
I've seen you take off your shoes. Our knees are not happy.
I'm always trying to pretend that I'm a little bit ahead of you.
I know. I just think that we do suffer as we get older.
Yeah.
So have you realized that if you think about the media from back in the days, that the older women heels were much shorter.
Yeah.
So I think they were very bright. They were trying to take care of their knees.
Of the knees.
I know that every time my knees pain, my mom just, it's those high heels you're wearing. And I'm like, no, Mom, I've not worn high heels in 3 years because of COVID.
No, I blame it on COVID. I literally am not trying to say it's because I'm now a couple of years older. It's COVID. During COVID, I didn't wear my heels and my feet got used to flats.
I know.
That's my excuse.
I know. I would wear my high heels purely because I feel sexy, but sexy is not after 10 p.m.
No.
Then it must go.
Even after 4 p.m. Now, I used to be able to walk on stiletto heels the entire day. I used to, at the time when I was still working in an actual office, I used to wear stiletto heels like proper every day, the whole day.
So times is changing.
And now-
style has changed over the years. Whether we are classic or where we are expressive,
Yeah.
I think it really is all about how we want to feel.
And what makes you feel good. How you want to feel, but also what makes you feel good, not somebody else. Because we're not you said earlier on, we're not dressing for men, we're not dressing for our friends, we're not dressing for anybody, we're dressing for ourselves. And that's where I'll leave it at.
Thank you for tuning in to Outspoken Owls. Chanel said, a girl should always look classy and fabulous. And you define that.